Hello and welcome back to another video. In this problem, we are asked to graph the function by hand, y is equal to the absolute value of cosine of pi x, not by plotting points, but by starting with the graph of one of the standard functions. Here we have y is equal to cosine of x, and then applying the appropriate transformations. So we have two steps here. We have this multiplication by pi. This is a stretch or shrink by a factor of 3. To determine which one of those it is, we see that it's being done within the cosine, right? So therefore it's a horizontal shrink because pi is horizontal shrink by a factor of pi. Because the horizontal shrink versus stretch is sort of the backwards of what you would expect. If we wanted to stretch it by pi, we would actually have to multiply it by 1 over pi. So this is a shrink by a factor of pi. And then we take the absolute value. So what does it mean to shrink by a factor of pi? It means we are dividing all of our x values on this function by pi. It's going to shrink it in by that much. Because the values on the x-axis are going to be completely different, I'm going to write a different graph entirely. And these points that we have here, so we have pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. If we divide all of those by pi, we get 1/2, 1, 3/2, and 2, and then we get the negative equivalents. Negative 3/2 and negative 2. This still stays at 1 and negative 1, and I'll draw the intermediate step in pencil, only doing the horizontal shrink, not worrying about the absolute value. And we can see, now that we've changed the axes, this looks the exact same. And now all we have to do is the absolute value of this function. What does that mean? Well, if the y value of the function at any given point is greater than or equal to 0, stays the same. However, if the y value is less than 0, we reflect it over the x-axis. Right, so here we have some y values that are negative. So we're going to reflect them over because that takes the absolute value of them, right, and makes it positive with the same magnitude. So this value of negative 1 becomes 1. And this is positive, so it stays the same. Positive, positive. And then again here, it's negative, so it gets reflected over. And now we can use our pencil to erase the intermediate step. And we're just left with our new function, y is equal to the absolute value of cosine of pi of x.